The Cypress Resource Group building houses the offices for Cypress at Home, Cypress Living, and Cypress Cove's new state-of-the-art Welcome and Design Center. Few, except for those entertaining the prospect of living at Cypress Cove, have need to go inside. That's why I thought it'd be fun to have a video tour of this new addition to our campus. So where is this new CRG building located? It's at the corner of Bass Road and Health Park Drive. That's the hospital over there, Health Park Drive. Then we pan down past the Oaks, still under construction when this video was made. There's Summerlin Road, and you keep coming around, and there's the new Cypress Resource Group building through the trees, protected by a berm. You'll hear more about the benefit of that berm later in this video. Hi, today I'm with Joe Velderman, and Joe is going to give us a sneak preview of what the new building at Cypress Cove looks like. It's called the Cypress Resource Group.
It's called the Cypress Resource Group building, and I think it's a very aptly named building. Let's explore why.
Yeah. But tell me the purpose of the building.
Well, the purpose of the building is really to kind of house a lot of our operations folks from across the three different organizations, Cypress Living, Cypress Cove, Cypress at Home, under one roof so that we can have strong collaboration, strong communication, and really be a resource back to the rest of the entire enterprise.
Now, as we get inside where it's a little bit cooler, I'm going to ask you to tell me where all these people used to be before they came into one building.
Absolutely. It's a terrific story of consolidation.
I think everybody's going to be surprised when they see the inside of the building. It is beautiful.
We're very blessed.
Yeah, let's go look.
Let's take a look.
Well, what do we have here, Joe?
This is the main entrance to the CRG building, or Cypress Resource Group building. Jody's sitting at the front desk.
She's also one of your longer time employees, I understand.
She's been serving our organization faithfully for many years.
Hi, everybody.
And when you come in, after greeting Jody, you can go one of two ways. If you go to your left, you'll be in the Cypress Cove Welcome Center. And if you go to your right, you'll be at the Cypress at Home Administrative Office space.
Which one should we start at?
Let's start at the Cypress Cove Welcome Center.
Okay. Hi, Maureen, can I come in?
Hi, John. Come on in. Great to see you.
Well, Maureen, introduce yourself and tell us what your responsibilities are here at Cypress Cove.
Certainly. My name is Maureen Orvek, and I am Manager of Occupancy and Community Development. Basically, John, that means that I am the manager in charge of sales. Yes.
The short title.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So probably the most people outside of employees of Cypress Cove that come in the building are prospective residents for Cypress Cove.
That is true.
Okay.
Yes.
And so what happens when somebody comes in? What's the procedure?
Sure. Well, of course, as you can well imagine, people are in all different stages of their journey when they have their first visit with us, or maybe it's a second or a third or a fourth or a 10th visit. But generally, we have them start here in our beautiful new Welcome and Design Center, where we can relate to them one-on-one to really find out what's most important to them. Our biggest job is to make sure that they, of course, obtain the information that they are seeking, but to help personalize it so that they can determine if this is an option that will work for them and for their future. So we kind of get into the why Cypress Cove, in addition to what is Cypress Cove.
And I think your department probably has more square footage floor-wise than any of the other departments, and let's go show the viewer why.
Okay, very well.
Well, you had to be happy to be able to get a space like this to have greeting parties or whatever you call them in sales and marketing.
Absolutely, John. So we do actually meet and greet, yes, but seminars, if you will, in small groups, because there is so much information that we want to tell and show future potential residents when they visit with us. So usually prior to the one-on-one, they'll come for a wonderful presentation and an overview. You know, what is our campus all about, and what are the different neighborhoods now that we have the Oaks as well, and what does the Health Park campus offer, as well as the options for the life care entrance fee plans. Yes.
Now, you very carefully designed examples for people so they can pick the cabinetry and carpentry. Show us that.
Okay, very well. So as we go through the process, the nice thing is that future residents are able to personalize their new home, and they're able to do that by choosing the many different features. Here you're looking at some samples of backsplashes and some upgrades on our quartz countertops, as well as some of the fixtures in the bathroom and kitchen areas of their residence, which can be either an apartment or a villa. And you have 5 different packages, John, that all feature different flooring, cabinets, countertops, bathroom tile, and finishes, so that they can mix and match. But there are different color schemes, and again, you might pick a off-white cabinet and choose a countertop from the ginger, even though you're working in the frosty white cabinet line. So there are 5 packages that offer lots of variety. So they're very high-end and really look lovely.
Is there any benefit to being in the same building with the other corporation? I mean, so many of these departments used to be in separate buildings.
Oh, absolutely. Just the fact that we can collaborate and work together more closely and communicate more effectively when it comes to providing the best options, as well as the ongoing service for the residents that already reside at Cypress Cove, but certainly for our prospects. The fact that we can just walk upstairs and talk with our VP of Finance or Cheryl or our financial assistant, or even have access right to our VP of Marketing or Troy, the CEO. They're very present, and I think people are encouraged by that. They know that they're taking a very personal interest and that they're available. They're not in some ivory tower. They're very much part of the day-to-day operation.
And this door is probably 16 inches thick. It probably weighs, what do you think, John?
I don't know.
500 pounds?
Check out this doorknob. How's that for a doorknob? Can a resident get one of these on their door?
I don't think that's an option.
That would not be good for security purposes, would it?
No.
We know you need help, sir, but we can't get in. What's the combination? Never mind. Yeah.
Right. So we're back here in the main entrance of the CRG building, and if we go to the right, we'll be in the Cypress at Home administrative office space.
And what is Cypress at Home?
So Cypress at Home is a comprehensive suite of services designed to help people age comfortably inside of the comfort of their home, whether their home is at Cypress Cove or out in the greater Southwest Florida community. We have 4 business lines under Cypress at Home. We have a care management service, a home care service, a home health service, and of course the primary care or medical care team under Cypress at Home as well.
How much staff is in here?
There's probably about 20 people in the Cypress at Home side of the building here. You can see we've got some training workstations set up here for our staff members who are out in the field, need to come in regularly and do some training to get their annual hours for training. And then we've got some administrative offices kind of around the perimeter of the building here. So you may be wondering, what type of people work in this Cypress at Home administrative office space here. And it's a variety of different folks. We've got some leadership folks. Rob Reed, our Associate Executive Director, has an office up front. We've got some clinical leadership team members here, Jennifer Blue and John Grady. We've got our scheduling team, we've got our intake team, we've got our home care schedulers, and we've got people here like PJ who spend a lot of time making sure that medical records are up to date, and we're getting the appropriate documentation from physicians and outside organizations that we work with to make sure that we can bill and generate claims effectively.
PJ, you just love being on camera, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Second floor lobby area here that leads right into our brand new boardroom.
Holy smokes.
And this looks like a rather palatial room. I know. Believe it or not, this entire room did not undergo any transformation. This furniture was included with the purchase of the building, the lighting, the windows, the carpet, the flooring, the paint, the artwork, everything.
Okay,
I think
so if it happens to look like the Taj Mahal, it came that way.
we inherited it. Sure. So we're back in the lobby area here where we got off the elevator and went into the boardroom. A lot of our senior leadership team members' offices are up here. Our VP of Clinical Services, our VP of Home and Community-Based Services, our President and CEO. I have the privilege of having my office up here. Our VP of Human Resources, VP of Finance, and VP of Marketing are all up here. This is our brand new training room and orientation room.
So tell us a little bit about your responsibilities here, Joe.
Well, as VP of Innovation, my focus is really on all things digital. So I lead our technology efforts, but bigger than that, it's more about digital transformation for us. It's about finding new ways to do things more efficiently, more effectively, and in a way that really meets the future expectations of our consumers.
Well, this office looks nice. Let's check this one out. Oh, good view and everything. Oh, Troy. Hi, I'm touring the building. I was wondering if I could have a couple minutes with you.
Yeah, sure. Come on in.
Nice to see you today. I always see you in
Thanks for coming
hallways.
by.
I don't see you in your office.
Yeah, no.
Do you have time for a few questions?
Of course, of course.
All right.
Happy.
First of all, the sailboat. As you know, I'm a yacht club member here at Cypress Cove, and I sail 4 times a week. Is there any story behind that beautiful sailboat behind you?
So I grew up, I always loved the water, and I've always loved to boat. I've never had my own sailboat, but when I left Atlanta, I was working for a large skilled nursing facility, 240 beds. My parting gift, they gave me that sailboat because they knew I was moving to Florida. They couldn't get me a real boat, but it was the sailboat. So I brought that down with me when I started my work at Lee Health. I did have to put a little bit of it together, had to assemble a few pieces. I don't think the rigging is quite right where it needs to be, but that has traveled with me from office to office since then.
It's a beautiful boat. How long have you been at Cypress Cove?
So almost 5 years, a little over 4.5 years now. In October, it'll be 5 years.
Where were you at before that?
So before that, I worked at Lee Health. I worked at Lee Health for about 5.5 years. I'm a licensed nursing home administrator, and so I was their director of skilled nursing for their post-acute services.
Now, when I look at your college degrees, it appears that you knew what you wanted to do at a fairly young age. I mean, there's got to be a story there.
Yeah, so my mom was a single parent. I was a single child, and we actually grew up underneath, we rented an apartment underneath of an assisted living up in Michigan. And it was a very small kind of mom and pop assisted living, more of a memory care facility. And so at an early age, I became very comfortable around older adults and seniors. I never had the opportunity to meet my grandparents, and so instead of not having 1 or 2 pairs, I had 20 pairs of older adults that I was able to serve. And so just early on, being so comfortable, some folks that know me say I have an old soul, and just always knew I wanted to serve and to be in this space. And so when I was in the mission field, I spent about 10 months in the South Pacific, and during that time I was kind of going more pre-law, business law, but being out there I realized how I wanted to really serve, and I wanted to do more, and so came back and found this degree, my long-term care administration degree from Southern Adventist University right outside of Chattanooga. Was able to finish that up. I had to graduate first in the class to get the only paid internship that was available, and so I was able to do that, and I started my work in Georgia. I've been in this industry a little over 18 years now, and I've loved every moment of it. It's my passion.
Now, speaking of mom, she works here too, doesn't she?
She does. She obviously works on the Cypress at Home side as a home health aide, and it's good having her close by. I keep an extra eye on her as well.
Yeah, but I've noticed since we've been here 2 years, almost 2 years, and there's a lot of family connection here amongst the employees. Yesterday we were served by a new young server. It was day number 4. I asked him a few questions, found out that, his mom works in housekeeping.
Yeah. So we use a tagline, especially during our new team member orientation, and we say, welcome to the Cypress family. And it's truly a family. You know, it's great to have so many of our team members, so many of our, recruitment comes from just word of mouth. They want to be part of some of the special things that we have going on here.
Can you explain the corporate structure of Cypress Cove? It seems like we're like 3 entities under one umbrella. I mean, explain that.
Yeah, so at the very top, it's our parent company is Lee Memorial Hospital. We do business as Lee Healthcare Resources. That organization has been around for many, many years. For a long time, it was one and the same with Lee Health. It wasn't until about the 1960s that it split into 2 separate organizations. Lee Health became what they are today with a public, not-for-profit, health system. And our organization went more behind the scenes and did a lot of development on behalf of Lee Health. At the very top, we don't have any employees that sit up there. We have 15 board of directors who really provide the vision and the guidance for our organization. Many of them have been born and raised here. We also have resident board members that are part of that group, and they're very passionate about serving Southwest Florida. So at the top, there's that organization, and then from there we have 5 separate organizations. We have Cypress Cove, obviously, that reports up. That's our beautiful life plan community here on this campus. We have Cypress at Home, which is our innovative line of home and community-based services that kind of provide that wraparound support for our residents. We have Cypress Living, which provides management support to not only Cypress Cove, but Cypress at Home, and also Lee Health in their home health space. We provide management and consultant services to them. And then underneath that, we have a couple smaller companies that I wear a couple different hats. I also am the president of our Property Owners Association here at Health Park, Florida. We're split up into East and West. It's about a 400-acre campus that we provide oversight to. So there's a couple different entities that are supported in there. And then we have a couple other just available that we hold some of our real estate holdings in.
That keeps you busy.
Yeah.
Tell me about the purchase of this building. I've heard a couple of different stories. But the one I like the best is the one where it almost like fell in your lap.
Yeah. So this was interesting. So we have, when we started pulling, the different companies that we oversee, we all had different locations. And Cypress Living, along with LHR, used to lease space in Medical Plaza 1, right across from Cypress Cove. We actually built that building quite a few years ago and then sold it back to Lee Health, and now they take the whole space.
Didn't know that.
There. So that was one of the buildings that we had built through our development side. We also had Cypress at Home. They had an office off of Metro, closer to downtown. That's where our home health and some of our home-based services were at. And then we also had the Welcome Center right behind this building that we leased from the Village Shops. We were kind of looking at numbers and trying to see how could we be a little bit more efficient. Office space through the pandemic, things changed a little bit, being able to work remotely and work from home. And our team is also very hands-on, and we like that to be together, that synergy that comes from being in one location all together. So we started looking for some space, and what better than an empty building that sat here on our own campus. And so it was owned by Synovus Bank. Lee Health had leased this second floor for a little bit, but they had moved out about 1.5 years ago. And the bank, that branch had shut down about, I think it was 6 months prior. So there wasn't a lot of need at the time for 19,000 square foot of commercial space. So we were able to negotiate a fairly good deal. Now, we signed our intent to purchase the Monday before Hurricane Ian. So it was either going to be one of the worst things I ever did or one of the best things I did. And thankfully the building, we got through the storm. Obviously we had what happened at Cypress Cove, but just having the berms here, this building being up a little bit higher, similar to the Oaks, we didn't get any water intrusion here. We did have some issues with the roof, but this property turned from nobody wanted it to being one of the hottest properties on the market because of the house, how large it was, and that it was one of the largest buildings this close to the islands and the beach and the areas that suffered so much destruction that didn't get water in it and that was usable on day one. We also, they were getting some crazy offers after that, but we had already locked in the price. So we had automatically built in some equity with that. We also were able to negotiate all the furniture and a lot of the other components The roof was damaged, so that was part of the negotiation through the insurance claim to be able to do that. So yeah, we were able to get into this space. We've done a few small renovations just to dress it up. And then we were able to welcome our Cypress at Home team, who were kind of scattered around.
Yeah.
Especially after the storm, they had some damage to their metro office, and they were no longer able to go back there. So they were, we had 3 or 4 team members in one office. It was just being very difficult. So we brought them in, and then obviously we're turning over our lease at the Welcome Center. And so we were able to move that Welcome Center kind of into our space down below, which you saw earlier, the beautiful design center, which gives our sales and marketing team a much larger space for presentations.
Yeah.
And we have some special things down the road that we're going to do in that space as well. This space, it's a great space now for our team. We have our Cypress Cove team members that come over for orientation or trainings in our great training room. If we're rolling out a new electronic health record, or we're doing training on CPR or whatever it may be, we're able to utilize a space and free up some of the rooms there. We also have the boardroom we use not only for our board meetings, but also our committee meetings and other large meetings. Different other organizations that are local, that are partners of ours, will come in and use the space as well. There's not a lot of office space or large, conference room space here available. And it's also available to our residents at Cypress Cove. If they have committee meetings, or if they're going to go through a specific training or need some space to meet, it's a great space for them to be able to use. It's all within the Cypress family, so anyone that needs to use it, it's available.
Yeah, good idea. Because in some cases, maybe not many, but some cases, it would be a relief to Edison Hall too.
Correct, yeah. Be able to hold committee meetings and other things here, just because, as we know, as we're continuing to go through some of the renovations, we've had to get a little creative with some of the rooms. So,
the biggest problem I see is the intersection on Bass Road and Cypress Cove Drive. At certain times, as you know, crisscross traffic, blah, blah, blah. Do you know of any plans to do like a roundabout or stoplights or anything like that?
Yes, so it's been on, even when I first started, it was a challenge there. And as we continue to grow and build out this campus, it's becoming more and more of that challenge. I don't think when we developed all of Health Park, Florida, we didn't realize that Bass Road was going to become a cut-through road, and how busy Summerlin was going to be.
It used to be an access road. Now it's a shortcut road.
Yeah, and so when so we've worked with the county to request to be able to put a light in there, and they have denied that request because of how close it is to Summerlin. We're working with Johnson Engineering. They're our firm that we've worked with the entire time that Health Park, Florida has been here. We're actually getting ready to do a new traffic study to monitor the traffic that goes through that intersection, to see if we can either get a light or if they would recommend a roundabout. Now, both of those come with a fairly large price tag, but that's where the Property Owners Association, that's where it's good to be able to wear a couple different hats, that we can come together as a group of businesses and owners here to help cover some of those costs that are associated with that. And that was one of the reasons why we wanted to put a crosswalk here, a multi-use crosswalk. That's why we had to push it down, and it's closer to the Children's Hospital. And because they felt like that was a safer area for that to be. A fun fact, that crosswalk that we put in, that was through the Property Owners Association, it creates, it's one of I think there's only maybe less than 3 of those types of crosswalks that are approved for golf carts as well.
Okay.
And so throughout the county and the city.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty neat. It took a lot of work to get that done, but that was one thing that we were able to get done a couple years ago. So back to this, we're going through that traffic study to determine what would be needed there. We have to be careful because we've gotten some comments back from the county where they would restrict being able to go across or to take a left-hand turn. So you'd only be able to take a right-hand turn. And we feel like then people would turn and go behind the hospital parking lot to get out, which would create more traffic there. Yeah. So we're just being cautious with that, but we're going to go through that study. I vote for
roundabout.
Yeah.
That's a very big intersection, and I think it would handle one nicely, but you'll find out.
Yeah, and they're becoming more popular.
Yeah.
When you say roundabout, some people cringe a little bit because they get worried, and they can be a little confusing if you're not used to them. But Lee County has put them in multiple intersections, closer to 75 and throughout. And they seem to be working very well.
Yeah.
So it could be a way to keep traffic flowing. The issue with putting a light in there, they're worried about the backup onto Summerlin.
Yeah.
And so we might be able to do something with building in additional lane. So if there is some backup there, but So we're working through those options now.
Yeah.
So I also wanted to share some of the exciting things we're doing with our new signage project for the campus. You've probably noticed our beautiful new monument sign when you pull into the Health Park Florida campus. The other one had reached its end of useful life, and we were having some challenges even keeping it standing. And so the new sign really shows the partnership between Cypress Cove, Lee Health, Golisano, Hope, and the others that are here on this campus. So that's the first of many. We're also going to be going through and redoing those green and white signs that when you pull onto a property or you come through, so that it can help with hopefully a little bit more of the orientation. A lot of individuals will get lost when they come to the campus, and so we want to help with those directional signs a little bit more. So you'll start to see Medical Plaza 1, the Oaks, and Cypress Cove are the first three that'll get done, and then we'll continue to wrap around the west side and then come to the east side as we go through our signage project. One other thing that we're doing is we've created a campus map. So we have one kind of internally for all of our Cypress entities throughout to show the connectivity of the campus and where things are located. It's great for new residents or just family members that are here. But we've also created a campus map of the 400 acres here that also shows some of the amenities. So if individuals are looking for one of their specialists or outpatient or going to get labs drawn, or they're looking for one of the restaurants here, one of the amenities in the village shops, or looking to see where the Hope Hospice House is. It'll help them with their orientation, and we're going to be providing those maps out at no cost to the different locations through some sponsorship opportunities on the back for some advertisement. But that way, when individuals are looking to navigate this campus, it'll be a little bit easier for them.
Super. Any parting words?
No, it was great to have you here today. Once again, I think this space is a space for our entire Cypress family. And so if anybody's ever interested in using some of the space and any of those, reach out to Jody Braveman, or you can just swing by here. One of us will come down and see you, and we're just excited to have here. One thing that I did forget to mention is we are looking to harden this building a little bit more. We have the new metal roof on, which helps, with some of the storms. We've also we've ran some lines so that we can put a generator here, as well as a few other things to harden this. So in the case we go through another, natural disaster, we'll have some more space to be able to use for that. So we're excited to be able to do that here as well.
Yeah, and as I've been touring through, I've noticed you have a lot of room for growth, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Troy, thanks a lot.
No, was that good? Everything there?
Very good.
Okay.